Okay, hello my lovely gorgeous beings of YouTube. This is the final sexual trauma healing video that we're gonna do within this series. There's 4 of them. Today is about the healing of the feminine energy. So the trauma that's occurred within the feminine sexual energy, and how do we heal that? What's been happening? How do we step into our power again as the feminine energy? Why is there so much trauma around the feminine energy, right? So we're going to talk about that today. This is the domain close to my heart, as I am a feminine energy being. I mean, I connect to the masculine energy too at times, must in order to get stuff done, but I'm a feminine energy being. And if you haven't seen the other videos, I start with talking about ancestral healing, ancestral traumatic healing, and that is a big one around the feminine. The kinds of things that have been happening in our ancestry, in our past, around the feminine energy has been very repressive and very difficult, and some of us hold on to that still. We still hold and grip and are repressed in our sexual energy because of that. Another video I talked about was our daily, our present reality, this lifetime, the kind of sexual trauma that's occurred and what's been happening and how we can heal through that. And then I talked about the masculine traumatic sexual energy healing. And today is the feminine. So stick around, let's get into the feminine. Let's get into healing of the trauma within this feminine sexual energy. Before we start, subscribe to my channel. Easy enough. Bing, subscribe. I put out videos weekly, bi-weekly around lots of different topics. I have like over 200 videos, beautiful topics around sexual exploration and desire and threesomes and ejaculation control, all sorts of things. So please search through and see if there's something that interests you. I would love to have you part of my tribe. All you have to do is subscribe. And my online program is available right now, Deeper Us. It's for couples ready to make a change in their intimate and sexual lives. It's a slow, beautiful, weekly process, 8 weeks. Part 1 is out, Deeper Us. Link is below. Get it if you haven't got it yet. If you've been a long-time subscriber, you need to get it for you and your partner. It's for any couple, whether it's short-term couple that you've been together or long-term. This is something that's going to help rejuvenate your relationship. So get Deeper Us. Okay. So the trauma that's been happening around the feminine sexual energy. Now, there is just so much repression that sits within the feminine energy, because there has been so much trauma, so much pushing down of the feminine, so much non-acknowledgement of the feminine, so much research actually and study that's been done by the masculine around the feminine, and looking at it like this is a foreign being, an alien, and we don't know what to do with this energy and these women. And you get all of these crazy sayings that go around the feminine energy about what feminine beings are about: hysterical, emotional, overly emotional, unable to control themselves, wild. And all of those words are things that are not looked upon favorably, right? But we're taking them back. We're taking those words back. We're saying, yeah, I'm wild feminine. Yes, I'm an emotional feminine. Yes, I'm a crazy feminine. I take it. Call me crazy. Call me emotional. Call me wild. That's what I take back. We have lost those beautiful aspects of ourselves. The feminine energy, the feminine sexual energy is connected to nature, right? What's nature? Nature is wild. Nature is unpredictable. Nature is emotional, right? I mean, not like emotional like human beings, but there's an emotional aspect of nature, and that's part of the feminine. So it's our nature to be like that. It's important for us to be able to express this way of being. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of trauma around the feminine energy. So let's start with the trauma that exists around the dialogue around the feminine energy, okay? So this is a difficult one. Now there's so many, there's almost like everything that exists that we talk about around the feminine is a repressive kind of way of looking at the feminine. Feminine sexual energy is very objectified. So what is important for media, for the outer society looking at the feminine energy, the main importance are the tits and the ass. It's always about, looking at the tits and the ass. And so objectifying the feminine being. So if she has big tits and a big ass, she's obviously a very sexy feminine woman. And those are what are the attractive aspects of her. And that's what makes her an attractive woman. She feels like she's more attractive with these big tits and this big ass. So does that give many women any kind of opportunity to really stand in their sexual power? Does that make women feel desirable or feel like they can express themselves? If they don't have this particular physique that's in mode fashion at the moment, how are they supposed to express themselves? How are they supposed to put themselves out to really be that sexual being that they want to be? Most women don't have that kind of a look. There's very few actually, and most of the media that you see is taken by a photographer and shifted and changed to look like the ideal woman, which actually there is almost no woman that actually looks like what you see in the media. All women are of different shape and size. All women are of different ways of expression around their sexual energy and their sexual desires. All women have their own identity that's unique and beautiful and magical and sexual and emotional and passionate, and it's all in there. But this is all pushed down and told to be quiet, told to control, told to not be expressed, told to be calm, told to, especially around the sexual energy, told to wait for the masculine to take control and lead. That's a really important base kind of belief that exists, and that really screws us up, right? It really screws us up because, and I see this all the time with the clients that I work with, women waiting for the man, and I've done this as well, waiting for the partner to initiate, wondering why our sex life is not that great or why I don't feel that sexual, because I'm waiting for my partner to say something, to do something, to initiate, and thinking that there's something wrong with me, that that's not happening. Or my clients thinking that there's something wrong with them, that that's not happening. And so closing down. And they want to express themselves in a different way. They don't even know that they want to because they've been told not to express themselves in sexual ways because that's not what you do as a proper woman, right? As a proper being, proper person in society. But it's such bullshit, and it's just absolutely destroying the sexual feminine energy, right? It's traumatic, and it takes a lot of work to get through that. So a lot of women out there working on helping other women open up their sexual energy, helping women connect to it, letting go, freeing themselves up, moving their bodies, feeling alive again, knowing that they can be free and emotional and wild and tired, that is part of it. That is what is needed to express. If I can't express the wildness in me, then I'm holding back my life force energy. I'm resisting from being who I really am. I'm not releasing what needs to get released, right? So it's just being held and tightened and tightened and tightened and tightened and tightened. And I see so many clients that are barely able to move. Female clients, like Hip movement, not possible, barely able. Body movement, barely. Afraid to let their voice out, because that voice, that channel, when we start breathing, the sexual energy comes from deep within our bodies and deep within our belief systems. It says, no, don't do it. You're a good girl. You're not allowed to express yourself. Or there's been, sexual abuse that's taken place. No, that's not yours. It doesn't belong to you. Right? So there's so much violence that's taken place. There's so many wrong ways of thinking, very distorted ways of thinking around the feminine sexual energy, that the feminine energy is kind of lost and definitely terrified to really express who she is and what she wants. She's very, very scared. So the trauma has created a whole generation of really terrified women. That's mostly my generation, and yes, generations before me and coming behind me. Women are afraid to express themselves. There has been so much trauma that's taken place around the feminine sexual energy. And we don't have to look very far into witch burning. We don't have to look very far into mass rape scenarios. We don't have to look very far into how we're taught from our mothers how to behave as women, our etiquette, which is the etiquette that we're supposed to follow in order to be the proper woman. So in order for us to heal this, and how do we heal this, and why is it important to heal this? We heal this by taking back all of our power, taking back the power that belongs to us, breathing through our bodies, okay? Breathing our bodies, allowing our bodies to move, slowly learning how to move our bodies again, slowly learning how to move our hips again, how to connect to our own skin, how to self-pleasure ourselves, how to release sound, like deep sound, like that, deep. Learning how to voice. This area of the feminine sexual energy is strangled. So softening, letting the strangling release, letting the voice be free. And, within, especially I work a lot with a breathing and letting the sound out, because that's the start of letting the voice being heard, okay? Letting your own voice being heard by letting the sound being free and letting it come out in a state where it needs to be released. So the sound, we have the sound, we have the movement, we have the breath, and we have the touch, learning to touch ourselves and feel our bodies and bring our bodies to life. So all of these kinds of steps, which are leading to orgasmic living for the feminine energy, are essential to create this whole new kind of world that we want to come into. The feminine energy is very powerful, very beautiful. It's holding on to a lot of repression. And so as that repression is released, as that repression is let go from our bodies, it creates more freedom around us. It creates freedom within ourselves, but creates freedom within our next generations. It allows the past generations to feel more free. Us freeing ourselves, our individual selves, affects all of the generations around us, all of our history, all of our future. And so it's essential that we start to do this. And the freedom is the connection again to nature. So we don't have to look so far. And how do I free myself? How do I reconnect to my feminine? Get into nature, touch the trees, feel the air on your bodies, the wind, the rain. Let yourself become part of that. Know that you are part of that. Okay, know that you are heavily, highly, completely, and totally supported to be and to say and to desire whatever you want as a feminine sexual being. You are needed